It seems like everything's always connected to Israel.
The U.S. military goes in, captures Maduro.
If you stop a dictator, you also stop the whole regime and take everybody out.
Every other person trapped under a dictator or evil regime will say, you can't just wait.
The Player Association, they had a collective bargaining agreement. There's been a lot going on. WNBA players have not been paid.
Having these athletes here under off-season will also allow them to like do more in their communities.
Because there's a lot of idiots that love to say, but they're losing money. Because a lot of your favorite companies are things that you use like AI, OpenAI, burns through billions of dollars.
That's not where hope comes from.
Yeah, I think this administration has no clue what the fuck they're doing. Welcome to the intersection.
I'm Kunal, that's Chris, and today we're it's end of the quarter. We're just talking about what's happened.
Yeah, man. First quarter's wrapped up, but like, how you been? How's the first quarter been for you?
I'm good. I'm doing great. I've been going to a lot of concerts.
What
I feel
concerts?
like. So I went to, my friend just had her album release last night.
Okay.
Actually, her group is called Girl Swallows Nightingale. And it's like really like ethereal, kind of like space age pop.
What are you laughing about?
I saw you laughing.
I was just laughing, man.
It was great. I had a good time. Went to Peaches, which was sick. A few other folks. Just, you know, I kind of, it's not a resolution, but I've kind of made a commitment that like I want to go see more local artists.
Dope.
And if a friend invites me to a concert and I have free time and it's like $50 or less,
You in?
I'm going.
Okay.
So I think that's got me to go out to a lot more things, which has been fun. It's night like on a Wednesday night, I'm like at a small club or bar or whatever, just not getting turned or anything, just
Vibing
enjoying
out.
new music with a bunch of people. It's sick. It's like a great way to be outside.
I like that.
Yeah, how you been, man? What you been up to?
I've been good, man. I've been honestly enjoying the sun. It's been beautiful out here in the Bay. So, you know, I've been taking walks, running with my dog lately, you know, and that's been healthy.
Wait, weren't you saying that one of them's not running no more? Just a strong walk.
Yeah. So Dakota, my Rottweiler,
Yeah.
she's older. She's 10 plus. She's out here just jogging.
She's
Not even really jogging. We get like a jog for a block and then it's just a straight walk. My Doberman though, he's 3 years old. Lucky
Name?
is Lucky. Lucky is
I was
out
like,
here.
I know the people gonna ask.
Yeah. Lucky's out here. We're all about. We're sprinting. Lucky's moving. Like got me out here. Where
We're
I'm
gonna
like
want
slow
some
down.
pictures too.
Yeah. I got
All
pictures.
right,
I got
okay.
pictures for me. We will show.
You can't mention dogs and then not share pictures.
Yeah,
so.
I love my
All right,
dogs.
yeah,
I got two
yeah.
black dogs.
Black.
Black.
Blackity-black.
Blackity black.
I'm glad that you've been good.
Yeah.
And I think we've been, I think a lot of people sometimes ask, like, how you doing? And it's hard to answer that question realistically a lot of times because, it's a casual question and you try and move on with it. But it's like, I think my response has become this version of, I'm personally doing pretty okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's some things that could improve, but, like, I'm blessed. I'm not super stressed. I got a community. I'm happy.
Yeah.
As much as I can be. But also I live in a world that is like on fire and constantly like going through all kinds of hell. And I think this quarter has been like symbolic of, not even symbolic, has just been that consistently, right? From and we don't talk about it on this podcast that often because they don't really fit what we always want to talk about, but it's in the zeitgeist and we have to kind of discuss what happened in January with Maduro.
Yeah.
And then, I think there's connection in the fact that it's Trump doing international fuckery, most recently in Iran.
Yeah. Let's dive into it.
So I'm gonna as we start talking about this, I'm gonna say we are not geopolitical experts. I think I'm talking about this more from like my experience of it and like how I'm seeing it and maybe how it's making me feel, not as a historian, not as like a policy expert by any means. We will include links to folks who we read for that kind of information if you're interested. But I think we're talking more like top level, like here's what happened in case you missed it, and like here's what we think it might involve or mean.
So what Kunal said like how Kendra said, he is not your savior. That's what he is saying.
Bro,
right now.
I don't know.
He is not. All right, man.
Don't come to us like that.
Do not come to us.
Do you want to kick it off or you want?
I want to kick it off at first before we even get into those details that, like, we're only 1 year in, man. We're only 1 year in of this Trump administration and everything.
And you cannot hope that he's just going to die. It's like, because people are like, oh, look, maybe his hand is,
bro, evil people don't die like
representing
that.
means he's sick or whatever. It's like, nah, bro, like I feel every other person trapped under a dictator or evil regime will say you can't just wait for that. Like that's not where hope comes from.
Not at all. And historically, evil people just don't die. They just like live for a long time.
The good die young, man.
Yeah. But you want to hop in? So
let's start January.
We got January 3rd.
So it was called. I genuinely didn't know this. It was called Operation Absolute Resolve.
Oh, I thought you knew that.
I didn't know the name of it. I'm not military head like that. So this is January 3rd. The U.S. military goes in, captures Maduro, the dictator of Venezuela, and they spirit him away to the U.S. kind of like under cover of night, and then they release pictures saying like, "Hey, we've done a successful operation." And it's such an interesting moment because I'm sure there is relief for a lot of people who are under that oppressive regime, but there's also a lot of the international community going like, what the fuck just happened? And I know Congress was just like, no one talked to us.
Yeah. And
the fact that the president just like launched a paramilitary operation without kind of checking in with anybody, I think put so many people on edge, right? And then the fallout of it all, I think we're still dealing with that.
We're still dealing with the fallout, and technically, like, the regime is still, like, in place because they only took out the leader. They didn't take out anybody else under it, so it wasn't like, the marketing of it was we stopped a dictator, but it was like, if you stop a dictator, you also stop the whole regime and take everybody out, and that wasn't done. So it's kind of, I know for some people there is kind of lukewarm feeling because it's like, he's gone, but the regime is still here, and also we had America just come in and do whatever, and that can happen again in any form and fashion.
If we've learned anything from history, America just going in and switching out governments and
it's not
establishing
good for
a new military presence, maybe it's not a good thing, maybe bad. Like, maybe we've learned something along that way. But it turns out, no, this government does not care about anything. I think it's also interesting that, interesting is such a terrible word for this, but I had to look up her name again so I didn't get it wrong. Maria Machado, who had won the Nobel Peace Prize and was Maduro's opposition, was trying to, be put into place to say, like, hey, as opposition, like, makes sense that I should be the one that transitions somehow into power. Even gave her Peace Prize to Trump, which
crazy.
Jesus Christ, like what?
Crazy. Another person kissing the ring.
Yeah, but then got nothing out of it
because you can't. It doesn't work that way. Yeah. Like it's been shown, you don't.
People are like Trump operates with a sort of logic, and it's like no, he's a maniac.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, how did I know we both kind of, when we first started about it, we were like, what does this mean? Mm-hmm. We talked a little bit about, it having oil reserves, and that's probably like a big part of the play here, and how this maybe is a puppet, like maybe the U.S. is trying to make this like some kind of puppet state. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on it? We're kind of a few months out. What are your thoughts on what's happened and what went on there?
I think it's definitely all about oil. I think immediately after that, Trump, had his press conference and said, we control the oil, we'll make sure that happens.
That was a real subtle indication of what he's talking about.
Yeah, and he was like, we talked to all the the executives of the oil companies, and I know Chevron got a deal to go down there and do some stuff. I think it was just all about his friends, of saying we want to have this.
Okay, I have a real question. I also, are the oil companies actually trying to go down there? Because wouldn't it cost them so much in terms of infrastructure and security?
Yes and no, because first you're getting some of the security from our tax dollars because militaries don't need to be there. The Trumps don't find a way of saying, hey, military needs to protect our companies, and this is the right thing to do, as he would say in his words. Also, yes, it will cost a lot for a lot of oil companies to invest in there, but the long term is probably going to balance out. But I do know, if I'm correct, Chevron already had infrastructure, so they're like the big winner, and that's why their stock even jumped up when it happened.
Yeah.
So I think it's interesting, but the interesting also other part, what kind of ties into Iran once we get over there, is the oil in Venezuela is crude oil. Like, y'all, I'm not going to get into all the science of it because I'm not a full scientist of it, but you can't use crude oil right away. You have to clean it and go through.
It has to be processed and
refined.
Yeah.
And that refinery that usually goes is over in the Middle East that has a great deal of how they do that very quickly. So there's a lot of
I'm responding to this now in real time, just to say, like, this is off notes a little bit, which is, it kind of maybe makes sense why Trump has been actively shutting down the like wind farming in the Northeast, and maybe he's going to push for the reopening or reestablishment of like oil refineries in the U.S.
Oil refineries, more offshore drilling.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think also when you make it what's happening right now, gas prices going up because of what's happening in Iran, the need of more oil, this makes sense. Like, why we need to open this up. So I think it's just a big play. Everything goes to a big play of how Trump helps his pocket and helps his friends' pockets.
Yeah.
For him to be even more rich and powerful.
I think that's a good transition point to our next very easy topic, Iran.
Yeah, so let's get to it. Trump pulled out of the 2015 nuclear deal.
By the way, that was Obama's
yes
nuclear deal that he really like tried to be like, this is terrible.
So he did that in his first term.
We'll come back to that.
We'll come back. But moving forward all the way, in February 28, 2026, a second wave of U.S.-Israel strikes happened, and Iran retaliated. Mind you, this is all connected to Israel. It seems like everything's always connected to Israel.
Especially out there. But there were some attacks in 2025.
Yes, June 2025, Israel struck Iran's nuclear facilities, and U.S. launched Operation Midnight Hammer. I love that, how detailed our notes are. We're getting really into the details now.
Hey, I don't want to be wrong here. No. Especially like, and this was educational for me as well, because I knew a bit about what's happening, and I know that the entire Middle East conflict, like, there are professors who dedicate their entire lives to studying this. So we're not going to get to a right answer or like to a full historical context, but even just knowing about like what Trump's specific actions have been in the region, it feels important to know. So like, what else? Yeah. How do we get to where we are now, where I feel like everyone's now talking about the Hormuz Strait?
Yes, we got there because Iran started to attack ships. And was just like, hey, nobody's going through. We're closing this off. And this pathway has the most vessels coming out of the Middle East. China has shipments going there. Oil, Russia, everybody has to go through this. So this being shut down affects the global economy. And that is why everybody's talking about it.
Yeah, I mean, gas prices are up everywhere.
Everywhere. I mean, we in Cali. Gas prices are almost $6, $7 some places.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It doesn't seem to be slowing down anytime soon. What's crazy is I recently saw like a meme video put out, I think by like Iran's like government.
Is this the Lego one?
/ military. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. First of all, that was hilarious.
And I was like, what is happening?
But it was good.
They're on Twitter and they're posting.
Yeah, it's we're in interesting times because I've never seen this type of, I guess, trolling warfare or something like. I don't know what to call it.
I truly have no idea how this is both simultaneously so childlike and childish and yet also so truly terrifying to its like global implications.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many moving partners in this
Yeah.
that are affected by it. I mean, this is something that why? Just to tell everybody, like historically, why the Middle East is always something people are like, hey, we want peace there. We don't want everything. It's because everybody has major countries have a play in it. And when
also they all have missiles pointing at each other.
exactly, and when one moves, it shakes everything else, and now everybody else has to basically say, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
Luckily, in this instance, there's a lot of powerful countries saying, no, we're not getting involved in this. We do not want to make this even come close to what in the past Iraq was, when a lot of people were involved from Germany, the British. But right now, everybody's like, nah, this is bad. We should stop this. Trump, you should, make peace. And it seems like now he's trying to backtrack and say, oh, we giving them a deal, and Iran is like, nah, we haven't had any communication at all with you.
And also that we won't.
Yeah.
Like you took out our leader. Now there have been protests run by, Iranians against the former Ayatollah, and there is a lot of like internal activity happening as well. But the military still has control. They're still able to they've shut down the Hormuz Strait with missiles, and they've launched strikes against, other oil fields in like UAE and Saudi Arabia. Like, this is not over. This is not going away. This is probably only the beginning of this conflict right now.
And there's a lot of sanctions going on that are on Iran, but then also sanctions that are being lifted up that will help out Russia be able to sell oil, which is going to affect the whole Ukraine war that is still going on. Ukraine and Russia, that just because it's not in the mainstream of media, is still going on. So there's a lot of like implications
are starting
to fall
in a way that it's hard to read where they lead.
Yeah, I don't know where we'll be at in 6 months from now.
Yeah, I think for me, I think the one thing that is clear is that the era of American supremacy is maybe the wrong term, but like American dominance on the international stage is like fully being eroded by like Trump's actions and even the rhetoric of his cabinet. I think the fact that it's a small thing, but even the fact that the Department of Defense is now called the Department of War.
Oh man, fuck Pete.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Go back to
like Hexeth is crazy and has no business being there, but now he's got platform on CBS to be able to talk. They've done like 2 puff pieces with him. So I think we're going to see like some textbook actions that you see when it comes to dictatorships and demagoguery that like we've seen in the past is going to get worse. I think the midterms are going to be maybe a moment to try and turn some of it around, but there's no going back. This ship has sailed a little bit. It's just how do we stop it from totally burning out all our allies?
Yeah, because right now, none of our allies are looking at us as
allies. There's I wish I had written this down, but Canada's prime minister has given some like really powerful speeches about the need to like for these kind of like middle allies that like were maybe more reliant on America or another superpower to create kind of their own set of like super friends so that they can support each other and not be super reliant on America. And that is unfortunately a way that can leave us like out to dry. And I think it will in the long run.
I agree. I think this administration has no clue what the fuck they're doing. And they're just playing like it's a video game and seeing, and thinking that you can just start back over, and that's just not possible.
I think my only pushback there is I think there are some people in this administration who have a very clear idea of what they're doing, and they're doing it purposefully. I
would like to. Who in your eyes is that those people?
I think the vice president is really sitting in here gleefully, and I think we're looking at it with like our ideals of like, hey, we want the global needs to be met and everything to be better for the most people possible. But if you look at it from like a plutocratic mindset, like all we're doing is trying to serve the rich and have them get powerful, then it's serving to do that.
I get that point.
Right. And I think the only reason I say this is I want to be careful of saying, oh, they're doing this willy-nilly and out of ignorance and they have no idea, when I think they are operating with ideas. It's just that they're not aligned with our ideals.
So what I mean by it, and I agree to a sense, I do think they have an idea of the bigger idea of what they want to do.
Yeah.
What says rich people more richer,
Yeah.
Billionaires have more power. But what I think they don't understand, and if you look at that cabinet, and also even, when they took out people that were generals and stuff, there is no understanding of international play in this room. There is no history. To give you, I forgot the general that was before Pete and Trump went through with their DEI is dead, we're taken out. But the top general there was a black man. But he had 4 years. He even talked about what was happening in the Middle East and said it needs to be peace for that. And
there's willful ignorance in a lot of this, right? Where they're ignoring experts.
I don't think ignoring. I think going back to your idea, their idea is we need to get here. This person is in the way. Let's move them out.
Yeah.
But with that, I think they stupidly do not understand the consequences that will come back to bite them in the ass, and also maybe literally dismantle America of where we stand at in the world from their works, because international play is totally different than the play that I think that they are very extremely have some knowledgeable people of how they're trying to operate within America and break down systematic things that are our ideals. But internationally, let's be real, honestly, even at American level internationally, we're kind of stupid compared if you go to different countries and talk international affairs and stuff.
Oh yeah.
So I know they're not that.
I sometimes maybe I do come across as very clearly American internationally, but I'm not trying to tell people I'm American. I'm vaguely brown. I could be anything. Who knows?
But you've been in conversations when you talk to people within, Europe or even South America and stuff. They're very understanding of international affairs because they have to, because of how the role where America plays and everything and how it affects. They have that. Americans, we just be like, do. What's going on? It's just America, America, America. And so I just think this administration in that regard is stupid and is playing with fire and does not understand the long term of this. They only understand the short term, which is their pockets. So that idea they are doing. But overall, this is a hot mess.
There's not much. Well, there's so much more to say. We're not probably the ones to say it. We have who are some of our sources here if you'd like to shout them out.
Yeah. I mean, we have
I know the Brookings Institute,
CFR, we have the Arms Control Association, Congressional Research Service, and Lawfare. We'll make sure those links are within our bio and everything, because we want people to have this information. This is important for us as citizens to understand what this administration is doing and what is happening internationally, because what they're doing is wrong, and we need to make sure that we're informed to be able to talk to people that don't understand this, everything going on here right now.
To take a step back a little bit about why I think this conversation is important, on even our channel, is I think a lot of times I end up being the political person in my friend circle. That's a little bit how we work, and also I'm interested in it generally. And I definitely have friends who they'll see the news headline, but then we'll be like, they got a lot going on. So if they have questions, they'll tap in with me. And it's okay, cool. I want to be able to be maybe not a full source of information, but be hey, here's some things you should know about what's going on. So
yeah, and I definitely think to this point, and to go back to your point before about this administration maybe having ideas, I think that what we have to realize is they caused a lot of chaos going on right here with what we still have going on. Let me not say that's not ICE. You know, we have DEI they were talking about. We have all these other conversations in here that we're so focused on that they're trying to play us internationally. So we have to make sure that we're knowledgeable about both. And it's a hard thing when, you know, inflation's happening.
You just trying to put food on the table.
Yeah. So, but I want people to know that, like, you don't have to know everything, but you need to know something. And, you know, this podcast, and there's many other podcasts and other people that are trying to give that information. And so I think it's really important to stay on top of these topics. And
abreast of it, yeah.
Yeah, abreast of it.
I
was so looking for that word. I was like, what is
I know. I saw
I'm
it.
saying it, searching.
I also want to shout out another podcast that we were just talking about earlier that we really like. I think The Jam.
Oh, yeah. Love them.
Chicago.
Man, y'all killing it. Killing it. Love it.
These kids are talking about these issues at much greater depth with much better research. And
I think they're grown.
More power to them.
I think they're grown, man. We're not that old. I don't think they're that young.
I don't know.
But shout out to y'all. Like, shout out to you. But you know, we talking about geopolitical. Let's talk about home, and let's move to like maybe some more positive news.
Yeah.
Let's get to the WNBA, baby.
Hey, man.
Let's get to the WNBA.
Speaking about getting money and getting paid.
money. Let's go. Let's go.
Ooh, I got these numbers.
Yeah, talk those numbers.
Okay, before I give the numbers, what are we talking about?
We're talking about the WNBA.
Yeah.
The Player Association. They had a collective bargaining agreement. There's been a lot going on. WNBA players have not been paid to what the revenue has grown, especially this last year. I believe the lowest salary was around $75K, or is it, $75K for a rookie?
So old minimum was $66K, and the new minimum is in the $270 to $300 range, which is higher than their old Supermax. Their old Supermax was $249, and it's now $1.4 million, with it growing to 2.4 by 2032. The old team salary caps was 1.5 million. Okay, don't look down. Take a guess. What do you think the new team salary cap is?
What was the old seat?
1.5.
They're at 7 million, right?
They're at 7.
Look at me. I mean, you know, I love sports. I keep up with this one.
Yeah. So, and there's revenue sharing,
which is huge.
Huge, and it's. Do you know the number?
No.
Okay, so it used to be 9.3.
Is it like 30?
It's 20.
20?
20% of gross revenue is going to be shared.
Okay.
So I'll say one, huge. Well deserved. I think the WNBA has grown in popularity like exponentially from when we were growing up.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen it here in the Bay with the Valkyries, where the seats are sold out.
Yeah.
I even have some of the merch myself.
I love the Valkyries.
So, love that for them. I think that's huge. I think it's also setting a good precedent for how women's sports leagues can maybe approach it in the future. You know, I think this has always been an ongoing fight with women's soccer. You know, being kind of the lead, like the
gold standard
of both being excellent and then being severely undervalued.
But that changed. They
Yeah.
got paid, and that was great, and that's why I appreciate that.
I think the WNBA is kind of that same kind of thing is happening.
Yeah. I want to talk about this because I want to get this, and I really want to directly talk to the camera about this because there's a lot of idiots, especially mansplainers, that love to say, but they're losing money. A lot of you guys don't understand how business works because a lot of your favorite companies or things that you use like AI, OpenAI, burns through many billions of dollars. OpenAI is probably going to burn through $14 billion this year.
Yeah.
But they're evaluated higher and everybody gets paid like Sam. That's the same with the WNBA. So stop with that. You don't understand business. You don't understand the logic of it. These women should be paid.
Find us.
You know? Seriously, bro. I am a diehard WNBA fan. Cyril Swoops, Houston Comets. My dad, first of all, shout out to my dad. My dad was always big into watching women's sports. So, like, he was like, this is where it's at. So, like, I came up and thought everybody liked this. And then when I found out with the internet and stuff and, like, how many man haters it was, I was like, get the fuck out of here. Like, have you watched the game? Do you really think Asia Wilson should only be paid $250,000? Like, she is dynamic.
Yeah.
You know? Do you think?
It's been great. We've been to some of the games.
Yes, we have.
Great time.
Great atmosphere. Great fans.
Everyone's loud.
Yeah.
No one's just sitting on the sidelines. Everyone's in it. And I think especially with such a dedicated fan base, that is like buying tickets, buying merch, showing up. They deserve this.
Yeah, I went to the New York Liberty game.
Yeah.
This past season, and the crowd was electric. You know,
I was at the Valkyries' first preseason game.
Okay.
Sorry, I need to flex a little bit.
I see. He was like, first, like, hold on, you just went to the Liberty. Let me just get in there.
It was wild. It was awesome. It was filled to the rafters. Everyone was having a good time. People were dancing. People were like, there was so much energy in that room. More so than some like men's basketball games I've been to, which was like electric.
You want to know why? It's also affordable still.
Yeah.
You know, NBA has got so unaffordable that families are not there. It's good to go to a WNBA game and see a whole family there, kids screaming, like prices
and that's
reasonable.
something we've said. I think there needs to be some family pricing for all sports games. Just create a section where families can reduce those ticket prices, get more energy in the building, and build lifelong fans.
Yeah, you're definitely losing fans. People are just now becoming highlights, and that's not, you don't have the same connection. That's why you have a lot of people connected to players and not connected to teams.
Yeah.
And I think there's a big difference, and we all know that from across the pond, with soccer or football. Correctly, I do use they're connected to the actual team, not the player. So when the player goes, you don't see a wave of fans, leave. And I think that needs to happen within the NBA, but I think the WNBA is killing it what they have right now. And it's great.
And shout out to, I think there's a lot of up and coming women's sports. There's women's hockey that we've talked about a little bit, and also women's tackle football, which we're going Saturday.
Tomorrow.
That's tomorrow.
It's tomorrow.
It's Friday here.
Yeah.
Golden State Storm.
Yeah, first game.
Full contact football.
Yeah, they're going to be at Laney, you guys. They're going to play at Laney for a few games. So go out and support them and everything.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jake, the owner, and everything. And everybody over there.
Yeah, they're doing great stuff, and I think that we're going to see more folks. Partly because it's affordable, partly because it's a great game.
Yeah.
So
I want to get back to the WNBA and a couple of things that go beyond the numbers that I think are super important, and that I am so happy they fought for. Pregnant players have a no trade clause, and can't get traded unless they approve it. I think that is super.
Whoa, that's really dope. Actually, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that happened in the past where players were getting traded, and why people are maybe don't understand the importance is you have your doctors, your appointments that you've been going to, that you're preparing for when this pregnancy happens. To be able to have to move your whole life across to a different country or a different city and your family, that is a lot, and I think that is so happy that they were able to get that through. Also, we have players are opted out, can opt out 17 months ago. From this did not have sorry.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
My bad. Players that opted out of this deal 17 months ago, because basically the collective bargaining agreement, the WNBA made a deal. Some of those players, this was no, this is not. They're not penalized for how they went about that, which I think is great.
Yeah.
Also, we now know players don't have to go overseas. Players have a pay and can stay here. And I think that's big. We don't have.
We saw what happened, to Brittany Griner,
mm-hmm.
and forcing these athletes to make a full year's living by playing internationally sucked.
Really sucked.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to have to play in Russia in the wintertime, or you're going to have to play.
Yeah.
That's just not what it is.
I also think that having these athletes here, under off season, will also allow them to do more in their communities. And be more active and do other things on the side, which will help build the profile of the players and the teams themselves. Yeah. Right? If you're having to hustle all year and go to China or Greece or Turkey to play in a G League or I don't know what the women's version of that is called, that's kind of your focus. You can't be here. You can't do anything fun. But now I think we'll see them more in media, in community events, and sponsoring stuff, which I think ultimately is a good thing for the communities that house them.
Yeah. So for everybody, go out to WNBA games. We will have a season this year. Thank God.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited to see what's happened. We got a lot of different storylines. Also, this is something I think I think I told you earlier. There's hardly nobody under contract on any of these teams because everybody knew this collective bargaining agreement was in. So nobody wanted to be locked into a contract.
There's a shakeup coming.
Oh, there's a shakeup. People are about to move. Also, what is big is rookie contracts automatically get bumped up. They don't stay at the $75K. They immediately get bumped up. They argued that in the collective bargaining agreement.
That's sick.
But I do want us to all recognize and be supporters of the Player Association maybe in 3 to 4 years from now, because this is a great deal. But how the revenue is coming from the TV, they could technically outgrow this in 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
If this blows up. And so we could be back having this conversation about revenue sharing, not too long from now.
20% still.
20% still low. I mean, I think it should be a lot higher, but we're going to clap for progress and we're going to keep championing them and supporting them.
Yeah, I don't have a segue, but let's talk about marketing and AI.
Whoa, that was like zoom, zoom, zoom.
Yeah.
Hard pivot.
I think you had said something about AI earlier, and I was like, oh, that's a good point. I forgot what it was, so we're just moving on like this, which is, I remember what it was. It was. OpenAI has been burning money. They've burned so much that they killed Sora.
Yeah, they killed Sora and moved from that. They're now going to, and their reasoning was because they don't want to be in that sector of the videos and stuff because they want to put more money towards having AI be agents.
Which is so really interesting because I think in one of our last episodes, we were predicting if Sora is being used by Disney and entertainment, what does that mean for this creative industry? Mm-hmm. I think there was a lot of fear. I think people were getting ready to fight because that was kind of what the strike was about the last time, was how AI would be used for people's likenesses and are the animators covered by those agreements? Who knows? Kind of all a moot point now that I killed Sora and it's this is because it was. The processing for the video AI imagery was so much higher in terms of computing. And I think it was 10 to 15 million a day?
Oh, wow. I know that.
Was the overall cost. So they were speaking of hemorrhaging money, they were losing it. Yeah. And so I get their business decision to just be well, actually, we're done. I think they called it a side quest. They're no more side quests, which is the nerdiest way to.
That's crazy.
Talk about it.
It's crazy. It's $1 billion deal. It's a side quest. That's wild. Okay.
Yeah, wild. Nerds, man. But I think also goes to show the creative industry is both in a weird space where I don't think it's fully caught up with where technology is and how to deal with it, and also it really isn't a huge business driver. At the end of the day, for the scale that these tech companies are looking at. Yeah.
I mean, and that's talking about AI, let's talk about them in marketing that Super Bowl commercials happened and they were in 23% of all the Super Bowl commercials. It feels like the year before when it was all crypto,
Look, I think there's a disconnect between what marketing teams believe is cool and what real people think is cool.
People hate AI.
Dude, people hate AI.
We're not fans. Let me say this. People are fans of it helping operate mundane tasks.
But
creative and creating
don't
movies
sell me
and stuff.
Things with it because it's we're in marketing. I have a feeling I know where the marketing thought process comes from, which is, hey, I see a lot of AI videos be popular on Instagram or YouTube. And it's that's because it's slop. And it's enjoyable in that context when you're on your sofa looking at it, you're look at this dumb thing. But when I'm watching the Super Bowl, and you're a multi-million or billion-dollar company, don't just use AI. use real stuff. You have the money. You spend the money on this ad. Spend a little bit more money to show you care about your product. And I think they're like, oh, young people love new tech stuff. It's like, I think this new generation really wants to be more in tune with their emotions and like people. And technology is like a thing they use. It's a tool, but I don't think they have a love for technology in the same way that like even millennials maybe kind of have, where we grew up without it. And so now it's still, I still think it's crazy that we can like, this is going to make me sound old as hell. Well, the fact that we can video call people is crazy.
Yeah. I think it's crazy the files I can open on my phone. The Illustrator files and everything.
Oh, okay.
I'm always like...
I was like, what kind of files are you talking about?
No.
What files are you talking about?
Man, now we can't even say files. Wow.
No, I can't say files.
Can't say files.
Can't say files.
We're talking Adobe files, AI files.
Cannot say files, bro.
Whoa. God, that one caught me off guard.
Yeah. Hey.
Good lookout.
I was like...
But, I mean... We have a lot going on.
Man, we didn't even talk about Epstein at all this episode.
We're not even getting into that.
Well, that's a separate thing.
That's a whole separate thing.
But know that, hey, also keep track of that shit.
Keep track of that shit. Get those files out there.
Don't let them distract you.
Nah. Take all those people out.
Yeah, take them out.
And I think that goes back to like understanding what's happening internationally. Everybody internationally is handling their business and making sure people go to court that was in those files. It's only America that we're not doing this shit.
Yeah, was it God, Prince Andrew?
Yeah, is it Prince Andrew or is Prince Andrew's or is Prince Charles' brother or something like that? One or two. But I know he had to go to court.
Don't remember British royalty. That is my act of Indian resistance forever. But
I'm with you, my man. But yeah, that definitely happened.
It's Prince Andrew, I'm pretty sure. Yes.
Yeah.
Prince Andrew. Yeah, they stripped his titles. They
quick with it.
They were like, now, could they have gone further? Probably.
Yes.
But they did something.
Action has happened. Steps have been taken.
Yeah.
We can always say further, but at least steps have been taken.
Yeah.
Here, we're over here like, oh no, that's fake news, this and that. Get him out of here. Get the people out here that are executives. It's whack, and we're not with that.
Yeah. Anyway, that took a left.
But hey, this
it happened this quarter. We should talk about it.
We talked about it, but I just want to, like, on our closing, what do you look for in your personal life for the next quarter, and just also maybe like posts for whatever everything else going on?
Okay, it's gonna be summer. I'm gonna.
Is it? Yeah, you're right. It'll go spring, summer.
Yeah.
I mean, you're right. I'm just
spring, summer. Yeah, I guess next quarter is spring.
Yeah,
we're in spring now.
Yeah,
we're in spring. So
that's weird. Okay, yeah.
Spring into summer, whatever. Wow, it really threw me. I had a rhythm.
My bad, man. Slow it down. Get back up. Build it back up.
Throwing out, man. What was I even gonna say?
You said it'll be summer, so you'll be outside.
Yeah, I was gonna be outside. Do I say that a lot?
Kunal's always outside, y'all. He's gonna say he's not. He's always outside.
It's fun. There's stuff to do. So if you're in the Bay Area, the Oakland Museum is probably going to have its Off the Grid event back, which is like a free music and a bunch of food trucks outside the OMCA on Fridays. Always a good time. If you want to go there, like, I'll likely be there if I have the time. I'm gonna clean my fans.
Good note.
People don't do that, and you should do that.
Spring cleaning, baby.
Like, get a screwdriver, open it up, clean them fans, because they're going to be running, because Oakland has no air conditioning. And I think it's going to be hot.
It's already been hot.
I think it's going to be hot, bro.
I say that as I'm in a hoodie.
Yeah, but we're inside in, like, a nice room.
But you know what I
Shout out to ISO Creative for having it.
Shout out to him.
Cool and chilling here, but yeah, I'm going to clean those fans and keep it running. And then... still trying to go to concerts. I think Oakland feels like it's coming back. There's a lot of like good energy out there, and I'm meeting a lot of like new audiences and new groups, and it's fun. I'm gonna have a good time.
Nice.
What about you? What you looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to being outside too, because it's warm. So
yeah.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I would love to see the Oakland Ballers.
Hell yeah, Oakland Ballers, back champs. We doing it.
Yeah, I would love to see them. As we said, the Golden State Storm, seeing those games. I also hopefully get into like a rec league to be back to hooping or playing soccer. It's been a minute, and I feel like the adult leagues are coming back, especially since the pandemic. So I'm looking to hop into one of those. And honestly, my man, we got a lot of work going on. So I look forward to like having some success in some of the things we're working on those. Like,
oh yeah, we do work too.
We do. Yeah, we're not just podcasters, y'all.
Yeah, thank God.
This is a side quest for us.
This is a side quest. This is a side quest, and I'm waiting to see when
hopefully we get $1 billion somehow.
Yeah, this side quest. Yeah, I wish I had a side quest that was making me millions, man. That'd be crazy.
No, but we will get there. That's what happened one day. But I want to wrap this up by saying, hey, y'all, it's the end of the quarter, and like how Kunal said, clean your fans. Also, make sure you clean your little vents and everything. Change your toothbrush. You feel me?
Yeah.
Make sure those little small things. Go through that list because
do
some
your
of y'all
taxes.
Do your taxes. You know, some
that's
of y'all,
coming up.
Or ask for the extension if you need it.
Always ask for the extension. Never.
Yeah.
Just ask for it. Just auto do that.
So we love y'all. Keep following us. If you're not a follower, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that like.
If you're on YouTube, ring the bell to get notified. If you're on Instagram, leave a comment. If you're on Spotify, leave a review. Just put 5 stars. Say you love us. If you have real constructive feedback, do it on Instagram.
DM us.
Yeah.
We listen. All right, y'all.
Peace.